Ever since the first storyteller said, "Once upon a time," people have been fascinated by tales about renegades who stepped outside the law and challenged the status quo. Some called them outlaws who prevailed with pluck and cunning. Today we might call them superheroes who succeed using supernatural powers. These legends have changed throughout the centuries, reflecting the lives and times of the storytellers and their audiences. Outlaw stories have appealed to many who yearn for simpler, less complicated lives. Those who want to go back to nature. It's no coincidence that imaginary outlaws often head out in the woods or the countryside. Just as the myth of the American gunslinger developed when the U.S. began losing its pristine wilderness, Robin Hood officially took up residence in Sherwood Forest in the 16th century, as the English greenwood was being carved up into farmland and villages. The quest for a less complicated life has never quite disappeared. Today we watch Survivor, a TV show that pits people against the wilderness, find food and shelter, or perish. Another reason we like outlaw tales is that our hero's moral choices are simple. He fights against oppression, rights wrongs, and does good, a kind of action figure from the past. But when it comes to the legend of Robin Hood, many scholars haven't been satisfied with stories and tales. They've spent years trying to prove he really existed. And in spite of all their trying, no one can say for sure. We do have one clue. In the mid-13th century, an unusual number of English thieves were named Robin Hood. Try out this scenario. Suppose that just before the year 1250, there was a remarkably successful bandit of that name in the forest along the Great North Road, the subject of many stories and legends. At that same time, the Sheriff of Nottingham was a particularly nasty character. The plot thickens. As Robin's reputation started to snowball, other robbers took his name, wanting to share in the fame. So gradually, a whole body of tales and anecdotes surrounded a composite outlaw named Robin Hood. Maybe this theory helps explain how Robin's personality changes over the centuries. In the earliest stories, he's a low-class loner, fool and trickster, neither hero nor villain. Then he becomes a Jesse James figure, an aggressive outlaw quite capable of killing the sheriff and laying waste to the whole countryside. Gradually, he gains a band of merry men from Little John to Friar Tuck, a home in Sherwood Forest, a girlfriend, and a mission, robbing from the rich to give to the poor. King Henry VIII was a great Robin Hood fan. During his reign, many songs, poems, ballads, and plays were written about the outlaw. And incidentally, in the early 16th century, Robin's social status changed from simple bandit to banished nobleman, trying to restore his honor. In the 17th century, Robin is an enemy of the medieval church. He's been reformed. And the later Robin Hood of Keats and Sir Walter Scott is a nationalistic patriot. Our modern Robin Hood is a mixture of all of these qualities, making him a kind of universal hero. This flexibility has kept his name alive. How did you first hear of Robin Hood? Did you see a cartoon? An old TV show? Or maybe a more recent one? Did you read a bedtime story? See an old movie? Or a more recent one? Maybe you read a comic book. No matter how you first made his acquaintance, by now you've probably joined the ranks of the millions of die-hard Robin Hood fans who love tales of the gallant outlaw, no matter where and when he lived.